Hey guys, slightly different view this week. Yeah, so this weekend I was able to brew up a couple brews. I'm not going to keep you long. I'll go ahead and skip straight to the footage, so here you go. So here's today's crush. Not too bad. A little fine. So it's going to be a busy next couple days. Yesterday I did brew my version of Arrogant Bastard. The recipe for that is up on brewtoad.com. So look me up if you want to know the recipe. It's just look for Tony Yates up on Brewtoad. Yeah, so I brewed the Arrogant Bastard yesterday. Today I'm doing a version of New Zealand IPA that Larmo did. So I'm going to redo his brew, actually, using the Nelson Sauvin hops as well as the Mokatua, I think that's how it's called. Anyways, you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. Right, so got the water is coming up to speed for strike, and once that's ready, we'll go ahead and put that over into the mash tun and dough in. Also, I wanted to show you guys that I decided to actually replace my screen. 2 seconds. So remember this? This is in the bottom of the brew kettle. Well, I got sick and tired because when it's in the bottom like this, whenever I am well, whirlpooling and also going out to the fermenter, I pretty much have to use my stir stick to scrape off the screen so that it will allow liquid to go in. You know, this is like only a problem when I'm using lots of hops and an IPA. But yeah, it was an issue and I got tired of it. So I went ahead and went out and got the Blickman hop blocker. I used that yesterday when I did the Arrogant Bastard clone. So when I did the Arrogant Bastard clone, that hop blocker worked perfect. I mean, it was beautiful. I got more wort out of the brew kettle than I ever had before using that screen. So I'm looking forward to trying that again today with a very hop-heavy New Zealand IPA. So, we'll get to it. Strike water's ready, so now I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over to the mash tun. Let me show you this filling up. There we go. And there, it's starting to rise up. And we're just about almost to 3.5 gallons. Alright, so the water's all in the mash tun, so now I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to the HLT. And then, yeah, dough in. I went a little bit high today on the strike water volume. accident. Should have let a little bit out, but it'll absorb. A couple little balls in there. Alright. Time to set up circulation. Alright, time to set up the hoses. Alright, so with the strike water, set me right at 64 degrees Celsius. So that's exactly where I want to be. Gives me a couple moments to set up my hoses. So let's go ahead and do that now. Alright, got the hoses primed. Now it's just time to let it flow. Should be coming up here just in a second. There we go. Good flow. Alright, so what I was doing in the mash tun was just making sure we got good flow with the hoses, so let's go ahead and take a look. Yep, so there it is. Got a good flow. Pretty soon it'll be like a recirculation in there. So I see, hope to show you, you see the nice yellow color coming through there. That's a nice pale color coming through there. It's quite nice in contrast to the water. So, yeah, it's a nice looking flow. It's nice and cleared up there. If you look inside, oh yeah, you got a nice whirlpool going on there. All the water's just flowing across the grain bread. It's nice. Just what we want. Time to take a little pH meter reading. Looks like we're a little bit high, 5.4. Yeah, try about 5.4. So I'll go ahead and add in some salts and adjust my pH. My target is 5.2. Okay, so here's the hop lineup. I got the 1 ounce, the Nelson Sauvage at 60 minutes. Got the 3/4 of an ounce of the Motueka at 45 minutes. Got another ounce of Motueka at 30 minutes. Another ounce at 15 minutes. Also a Werflock tablet, half a Werflock tablet, and some yeast nutrient. And 1 1/4 ounce at 5 minutes. So yeah, that's the hop bill. Yes, these are some plastic cups. You know, if you're in the US, these are like Budweiser. If you're in Canada, it's like Molson. And I think this is what we got here. When I bought the ventilation hood, the guy also had this box of plastic cups. So I got like, you know, it's got like 1,000 cups in there. It's like, hey man, you want this too? Sure, why not? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tony, why would you want a bunch of cups from some conglomerate? Because I can fill them with homebrew and drink good beer. Alright, so the 60-minute mash time is up, so now I'm going to go ahead and mash out and start to dribble over into the boil kettle. Alright, so basically what I'm doing here is now I'm taking my sparge water, running it up through my coil to push out the remaining wort. That will go ahead and start to sparge the mash tun. And then from the mash tun, I'm going out through the pump into the bottom of the boil kettle. Let's do that. So let's go ahead and see how that looks coming into the boil kettle. It's nice yellow. You can see it starting to fill up, and it's ever so slowly. This process should take about 45 minutes to an hour. And just so you can see a wider angle shot, right now I've got the HLT water coming out of the HLT through the pump up into the coil, and that's pushing water, the sparge water, out on top of the grain bread ever so slowly. And then at the same time I'm pushing the hot wort from the mash tun through the pump into the bottom of the boil kettle, slowly raising it up. Okay, so you may notice it's a little bit louder in here now. I've turned on the fan, and I've collected 7.5 gallons of wort. My current pre-boil gravity is 1054. Kind of happy with that. And so what I'm going to do at this point is just disconnect all the cables from the HLT to the mash tun, and then from the mash tun to the boil kettle, and focus on the boil. So let's go ahead and get that up to speed. Alright, we're just about, we're getting up there. Pretty close to the boiling point. Got a little bit of activity here. Yeah. Not far away now. Alright, well I'm going to call that hot break. And time to add the first hop addition. Nelson's rolling. 60 minutes, 1 ounce. Here she goes. Nice. Alright, so we're about 9 minutes into the boil. Everything's going great. looking good. It's got a nice rolling boil going on. What nobody ever really shows you is the cleanup job. So yeah, cleanup is kind of a pain in the butt. You know, once we move that out of the way, time to turn it around, lift it up, and all this stuff needs to get picked up. Alright, so we're 15 minutes into the boil. Time to add in the Motueka 3/4 of an ounce, 45 minutes. There she goes. Not too bad. Currently at, what do we got here? About 7 1/4 gallons left. A little bit of proteins there hanging out in the sight glass. Could be a little bit of hops too, you never know. Yep. All's good. Alright, so the boil's going pretty good. We are reaching the 30-minute mark here. 29 minutes, 38 seconds. And counting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my next addition. 1 more ounce. 30-minute mark. And there we go. It's all in. Alright. Damn you, Larmo, for keeping me so damn busy. Every 15-minute additions? Are you crazy? Anyway. See ya. Alright, here we are reaching the 45-minute mark. 15 minutes left in the boil. So I've got my 15-minute addition. 1 more ounce of Tuka. Got my Werflog tablet, some yeast nutrient in there. It's just half a Werflog tablet. Go ahead and add that in. Good to go. For anybody that's wondering about the hood, the hood's working out great. You can see my setup is on wheels, right? So I can sort of move it out from the wall. Once I do the boil, I do move it out from the wall. And then, yeah, the ventilation is actually working brilliant. It's going up and out. There is a little bit of condensation that's building up. You can see it sort of, it's not dripping right down, it's sliding down to the edge of the bar. And then it's going down to the sides. And then there's a lip on the sides that catches it. So it's not coming down onto the floor or anything, which is brilliant. So it's great. It's working out really nice. 5 minutes left in the boil, and time for our last hop addition. 1 1/4 ounces. There we go. She's in there. That beer is looking awfully green. Smells good though. Alright, so I'm sort of set up to a whirlpool here a little bit. Timer's gone off. 3 seconds passed. Time to stop the boil. So I'll go ahead and turn off the boil kettle. See that the boil is going to die down. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up for a little bit of whirlpool. And that's going to happen before I hook up the plate chiller. Alright, so not exactly a whirlpool yet, but it will be as soon as I fix the hose. But the reason I do that first, before I hook it up to the plate chiller, is because there's a crap load of hops underneath the hop blocker, and I want to clear those out first. So now if you look at the lines, they're relatively clear. So now it's pretty safe for me to go ahead, stop the valve, hook it up to the therminator, and then go ahead and start running it through the plate chiller and getting it ready to cool down. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I've got the water coming in from the other room, and see down below, water's going in the back. It's coming out here back to the sink. I've got the wort coming out of the kettle to the bottom of the pump, coming out the top, and it's going into the plate chiller, and out of the plate chiller, back up into my hose, which is creating a sort of very slow whirlpool at the moment. I did slow it down a bit. And right now, it's currently like 27 degrees, so it's only a few more degrees to go. And I will be putting it straight into the fermenter. So I'll come back and show you when all that's done. So as you see, I'm currently filling up the carboy. Just go ahead and crank this up a bit more. Alright, so we'll give you a bit of a glance inside the kettle as it's being pumped out. See, I've already moved the Terminator coupler up a little bit in order to allow it to extract from the lower part. The element's already exposed. You're starting to get to see some of the hop debris that had collected in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how much of this we're able to collect. But as you can see on the outside, still looking strong. Everything's going good. So far we've got 15 liters out of there. Alright, so OG coming out of the boil kettle. Looks like I hit 1066. So it's 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Maybe 7. 2, 4, 6. It looks like 8. So 268. Actually. See if I can get this thing to focus. No, not in the back. There we go. 260, 2, 4, 6, 8. Which actually is exactly what Larmo got. So I think we're even Steven, man. And just in case you're wondering what it looks like inside the boil kettle, there you go. There's the hop residue. We picked up most of it. I mean, there's like, I don't know what that is. It's probably like a quart. No, probably a quart and a half, maybe. So it's not much. I'm really liking that hop blocker. Actually, it worked out really good. Alright, so you see the aeration stone down in there. Currently aerating the wort. Got my gauge here. I don't have much air left, but this is what the tank looks like. And going up into the top, down in there. So I'm going to crank this thing up a little bit, give it about 60 seconds of air, and I'll come back. Alright, so there we go. You can see everything is nice and aerated. Got nice foam bubbles came right up to the top. Everything is in suspension. All the proteins. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set this in the fermentation chamber and pitch the yeast. You can see that there's 15 liters, here's 20 liters. So I got about 17.5 liters. About 17 liters, which I am, so that's about 2 quarts, 1.5 quart low from 5 gallons US from my target. So yeah, a little bit too aggressive boil, I guess. So yeah, that's it. No, that's not the Pale Ale. That's the Arrogant Bastard clone. Got a pretty good constant after 24 hours. Lots of activity going on inside there. That's what I love about these better bottles. and the carboys. You can actually see what's going on inside. That's phenomenal. You can hear it. It's like a heartbeat. Got that in a PBW flask. So yeah, here's the pale ale. Right next to it. Doesn't look much paler. But there it is. Pitched the yeast just a couple minutes ago. I did not hydrate it actually. I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing it. But it'll be fine, I'm sure. This is actually the first time I've used dry yeast since kits, actually. For all of the 6 previous all grains, I've always used the liquid yeast. So this is interesting. Yeah, I used Safale 05 on this one. So yeah, we'll come back and see how that is in the 24 hours. Okay, so continuing on the cleaning chapter, for those that are interested. I have this mess here in the boil kettle. I just sort of shook it around, dumped it out, and the kettle looks like crap. So how do I clean it? Obviously connected to the electrical system. Quick disconnects is not in place, so not an option. In that circumstance, what I do is pretty much in the HLT, I've still got the HLT is half full of about 50, 60 degree water. So what I'll do is I'll pump that out of there, and I've already cleaned the mash tun. And now you see I've got the hose coming out of the coil, so through the pump to the bottom of the coil. So I'll continue to flush out the coil through the hose, and then I'll push that just with water to rinse out the kettle. Once the kettle's rinsed out, I've already put in 5 gallons of PBW here into the mash tun, so that's just waiting for me to flush it out through the wort pump. So I'll flush out the wort pump, and I'll also flush out the plate chiller with that. And I'll do that basically after I'm done cleaning the boil kettle. So yeah, that's basically my cleaning solution. So if there was any bad points about having this system, it's that, well, you got 2 kettles to clean. You got the mash tun and the boil kettle. The HLT, it's just water, so it's just to soak up the water, empty it out, and then clean it out with a rag, get out all the condensation. Yeah, so it's cleaning 2 kettles, and then also all the tubing, all the cables to push all the wort and water around. But beyond that, I would take this over any other system any day. Okay, so we're at the 48-hour mark. As you can see, the arrogant bastard is very happy. Had a little bit of a blowout here. It's pretty common as I understand it. So yeah, yeasties are swimming around, looking very, very happy. Loving life. And then here's the New Zealand IPA after 24 hours. It's actually got a better crowd than the Arrogant Bastard did after 24 hours, so that's a win for Safale 05, I guess. Versus the WLP 007 in the Arrogant Bastard. So there you have it. Busy weekend. I was up, I think I started at 4 in the afternoon both days. I was done about 10, 11 o'clock at night after cleanup. So it was fun. Busy. Yeah. So beyond that, I look forward to brewing up a Grew It very soon. Hopefully this weekend before I go on holiday. We'll see. I'm missing the Damien spice. And I'm going to use Imeladius's recipe, the latest ones that he's got posted up on brewtubers.com, and go with that. So yeah, thanks a lot for subscribing, liking, or commenting. Appreciate all of the community contributions, and look forward to watching all of your Homebrew Wednesdays. So with that, cheers guys.